What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here with the review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 2, episode 17. Iama fixed my life. Did she fix it? I believe not. But let's get into this episode review, shall we? All right, you guys. So the episode opens. So we see Marceau. So Marceau is down at Uptown, and Martell comes down there. So Marceau is looking to open up a brunch spot with a cook that does that. So Martell says he came down to check on Marceau after the whole accident. And honestly, when I was watching that whole scene, it just seemed like it was really forced. Like you can look like you can still see that there's tension between Martell and Marceau. I don't think that they will ever get back to the friendship that they had. I think that at this point, it's just too much water under the bridge. And also, I just feel that Martell is just trying to find anybody to be an ally with him, align themselves with him in this whole situation with Mel. That's all he's doing. That's why he's trying to, quote, mend fences with people. So then Marceau mentions the 47 acres. He mentions the 47 acres, and then Martell informs him that, due to this divorce and everything that's going on with the divorce, he's unable to sell that 47 acres. And, Marceau actually gave him some sound advice. He tells him that you need to hit rock bottom, and then once you hit rock bottom, then you can rebuild. And Martell's like, he's already at rock bottom. I'm like, I don't even think you've hit, the middle point. Like, you are not at rock bottom, especially with the stuff that you and Mel are going through right now. Like, you have not hit rock bottom. Rock bottom is when you are pretty much have nothing and you have to rebuild. But, if he feels he's at rock bottom, I'll let him believe that. So then later in the episode, we see Tisha. So Tisha has a surprise dinner for Marceau. And, it's a nice romantic bubble dinner for them. She looked really nice, I will say that. So then she tells him about her event and, how, Mel said that she wanted to move forward. And then Destiny is talking about the fact that she is having a day retreat. I didn't want to go at first. I'm still trying to figure out why Tisha didn't want to go. Nobody said anything to you. So I was just confused by that. But she says, she'll just go for the day. Let's see. Now here's where things got just, it irritates me listening to Marceau talk. So Marceau's talking about, her working and everything, and how, when they got together and got married, he wanted her to fall back to being a mother. I'm like, ugh, you and these outdated ass ideals. And Tisha in this episode, she said one thing, and I'm like, damn, I'm agreeing with Tisha of all people. But in her interview with the producer, she was talking about the fact that the reason why she's doing what she's doing is because, God forbid, anything happens to Marceau, she needs to be able to take care of the family, which I was like, exactly. I don't know why he still has these chauvinistic ideas. I mean, think about it. You were in a car accident. What would have happened if you were paralyzed and you were unable to work? What would happen if you were somehow incapacitated? Couldn't do anything. What happened if you died? Tisha has to find a way to make a way for her and the kids. So I just really want him to let go of them outdated ideas and let him just move on. And we're going to move on. All right, you guys. So we see Mama Holt. So Mama Holt goes to see Mel. And, she and Mel are discussing this whole ordeal with Martell. And like I've been saying, they are literally dragging the kids into this toxic divorce with them. Like, I know I saw that Martell had went on social media and had, recorded the kids. And now I didn't see the video. He recorded the kids talking about what Marcus has done to them when they go down to Atlanta. And I know people have said that, it seemed like the kids were reading from a script, basically. The thing is with these kids, and my girl Erica De Niro said it best, you got to get these, and I've been saying it too, but these kids are going to watch this back, and they're probably going to be upset at both of their parents for dragging them through this. And I really hope that since, they're using these kids for the expense of this show and this divorce, I really hope that they get those kids some, much needed therapy. I really hope they do that because those kids are gonna need it. And like I said, these kids are gonna be able to watch this stuff back and be like, dang. So mama and daddy was, fighting on TV, getting the divorce, and then we got drug into it. Like, why did we get drug into it? And I don't think it's gonna end. I don't think it's gonna be, a good situation for either Mel or Martell. So one of them has to just step up and be the mature adult. I don't know who that's gonna be, because Martell, he was talking about how she posts on social media. Now he's posting. I wish they would both stop posting, honestly. But if you're gonna post, at least leave your kids out of it. That's the biggest thing. Just leave your kids out of it. So, Mel is telling Mama Hope that, Martell is telling anybody who will listen that she cheated on him, which that is 100% the truth. But I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Martell is trying to, lessen the blow. Martell, with this going to court, I know this is gonna go to custody court. He wants it on television. He wants to televise that Mel cheated, so that way he doesn't look as bad in court, and they both look as equally bad in the court size. So that's really what he's doing. I feel like he doesn't want to pay child support. I just feel like he, when it comes to the custody, he wants it to be split down the middle. I really don't believe Martell wants full custody, like Mel said. She said because he's talking about full custody. I don't believe he wants full custody. I think Martell is doing everything to stick it to Mel. That's what he's doing. And Mama Hope was like, oh no, he's not gonna, he's not getting full custody because I'm not raising those kids. Love my grandkids, but I'm not raising them. And then, Mama Hope also lets Melody know that Arian is having a boy. I think that's the woman's name. I really don't care what her name is, but it is what it is. But, she did say that she's upset about the new baby, but it is her grandchild, so she's going to love him regardless. So then we see Mel. She's dropping the kids off to Martell with that terrible wig she wears. Why does Mel wear that ugly ass braided wig? Burn it, please. So Mel is upset because Mel doesn't want to be in Huntsville. She would prefer to be in Atlanta, but she's saying that Martell is making it hard for her. I mean, I guess I understand. I understand him in that regard. Those are still his kids. No matter what, those are his kids. So why take his kids across state lines? I do understand that. Because I do understand that. Because you have the kids for a week or 2 weeks, and then he has the kids for a certain amount of time. I don't want to have to keep driving across state line, meet in the middle of a state. No, be in Huntsville. I get that Atlanta might be better for you, but again, you have to think about your kids. It's not about you, it's about these kids. So they get into a whole argument with each other about the custody situation. Like I said, once again, I do not believe that Martell wants full custody. I just feel like he's doing all of this just to, be a pain in the ass to Mel. That's what I feel. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Next, let's talk about Maurice and Kimmy. So Maurice wants to have a conversation with Jalen, and Maurice is trying to get a feel for where Jalen's head is at. And I understand both sides. I understand Kimmy's side, and I do understand Maurice's side as well. But I'm more inclined to understand Kimmy than I am Maurice, and I'll explain that to you guys. So you guys know, Maurice wants for Jalen to have it all figured out, to know what he wants to do going forward in life. But what Jalen is 21, 22 years old? I don't know any 21 or 22 year old that has everything figured out at that age. Even I didn't have it figured out at 21 and 22. Because I graduated college. I had graduated college at 22 years old. Just a month or so shy. Well, I got my diploma a month after my 23rd birthday. So I finished at 22. I would have finished at 21, but I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't finish at 21 because I just needed that extra year just to, figure things out. And I took a semester off because I was just I took a semester off before I graduated because I was like, ooh, you're about to graduate and you don't know what you want to do with your life. So I took a semester off just to, do me. And I just, took that one semester off, and I learned a little bit more about myself. But I knew at that time what I wanted to do, but I wasn't ready to take that jump with graduation. I just was not at that point where I was like, ooh. It was just, I was hesitant, and I was afraid because I didn't want to, graduate and then have all these high expectations for myself and then not able to achieve them or attain them. So I get where Maurice is coming from, like I said, because like I said, I knew when I graduated college what I wanted to do. But Kimmy was like my mom. My mom told me, she said, I know what you want to do. My mom said that in high school. She knew the things that I wanted to do with my life. But she told me that to get an education, so that way, if the things that I wanted to do didn't work out the way that I wanted them to, I would always have something to fall back on. And I always appreciate my mom for that. So when I graduated college, my mom said again, know what you want to do with your life, and I want to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't have the means, the funds, or anything to make start the businesses that I want to start. So I was like, okay, look for jobs. And that's what I did. And I've, looked for jobs. And I found some, I've worked plenty of jobs since college. But suffice it to say, I'm more inclined to be on Kimmy's side. Jalen needs to work. Jalen needs work ethic, because those are the two things that's the one thing I do have. One thing you can never take from me is my hard work ethic. You can never take that away from me. So yeah, I like I said, I see where Maurice is coming from, but at this point I want Maurice just to back off, because Jalen doesn't have it all figured out. And like I said, what 21, 22-year-old person has it all figured out? It's very rare that they do. So yeah, let him, if he does come to you for help, be that help to him. But don't force what you want onto him. And that's it, you guys. But we'll move on. All right, you guys. So this retreat that Destiny has put together. So everyone shows up. You got Mel, you got Kimmy, and Tisha. She showed up late. So everything started out really good. So Destiny wanted the ladies to play a game. Now, in Mel's interview, I don't understand why Mel was so, talking about, here go Tisha, bringing down the mood. All Tisha said was, can I change my clothes? Like, I was expecting for us to have a picnic first. Can I change my clothes? And since we're going to play a game, I mean, did you see what Tisha had on? Looked like she had on a skirt. So I understood why Tisha said, let me change. What she meant was just let me put on some pants. Actually, that's exactly what she said. Let me put on some pants. The woman had a skirt on, Mel. What did you want her to do? And then, looked like she had y'all playing, what is that game? I can't even think of that game where you put your hand, is it Twister? Looked like she had y'all playing Twister. So Tisha had a skirt on. How y'all gonna be playing Twister with the cameraman in front of you? I'm pretty sure it's men. I'm with Tisha. I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game with a skirt on and there's a man in front of me. No. So I don't understand. I didn't understand that, but they played a game and it was fun. They had fun with each other. So then, they go to this next thing where Iama's there. So they're going to be having a conversation with each other. So they have the conversations. And at first, Iama had them do parental things. So she would say some things, and you would raise your left hand if it's your mother. You would raise your right hand if it's your father. And if it's both, you raise both hands. I'm not sure. I don't know if I have the hands correct, but that was the gist of it. You raise your hand if it was your mom, whatever she said, like hard workaholic. If you felt like your mom was a workaholic, raise your hand. If you felt like your dad was a workaholic, raise your hand. Or if you felt like both of them, raise your hand. Then, Kimmy was talking about a relationship with her dad. I forgot what it was. I forgot what Iama asked. I know Tisha was talking about how Wanda wasn't as affectionate, and girl, I can see it. I can see that Wanda's not an affectionate person. She just doesn't give that vibe off. As messy as she is, Wanda doesn't give off that kind of affectionate vibe. So then the next thing they had to do was they had these cards that they had to give to give to their sisters, and it had a word on it, and they would then tell the sister, why they gave them that word. Like protective, I think, is what Destiny gave to Mel, and I'm not gonna go into that, that whole scenario, what happened with them. And then Mel gave Tisha hers, and hers was misunderstanding. So Mel went on to explain why she gave Tisha that card. She said she feels like the downfall and the deterioration of their friendship was all because of a misunderstanding. Because she said, Tisha felt like I wasn't there for her, but at that same time, I was going through my own stuff in my life. And then Iama asked Tisha, how did you feel about that? And Tisha says, I feel like that's some BS. I was like, oh God, here we go. Tisha, there were different ways that you could have said that situation. There were definitely different ways that you could have said that instead of saying BS. So when Iama asked you, how did you feel? You could have said, okay, well, that's Mel's interpretation of how the friendship, deteriorated, but that's not my answer. That's not how I feel. That's not what I feel contributed to the downfall of our friendship. And then you go, and then Iama will be like, well, what, she could say, well, why do you feel that way? And then you can go into saying what you felt brought down the friendship. And I'm not going to mention what Tisha said nor what Mel said. I'm going to talk about what I saw on the show, because both of them were saying things that were true, but they would never own up to. Neither one, Tisha's talking about Mel wasn't owning up to it, but neither are you. Y'all are neither one of y'all are owning up to what I feel really happened in the friendship. But they start to argue with each other. So the thing for me is, I do agree with Mel that I don't agree about the misunderstanding. I don't agree with that. But I will say what Mel said what Mel said was right. Because you guys remember the episode when season 1, I forget which episode it was, but it was an episode where Mel, Tisha, and Kimmy had all got into it with each other because they were talking about how bougie she was going to the galas and everything. They felt like Mel was putting them to the side for, going to different galas and events and stuff like that. That was one thing that was, a pivotal point in the friendship. That was one part. But then we got to be honest. Mel, you have contributed to this as well. What Tisha was saying is true. You have come at her marriage. Not as much as your husband has, but you've definitely come after that woman's marriage. Because let's go back to season 1 as well, when Martell and Marceau had their issues with each other. And remember, when Martell kept talking about the fact that, Marceau was sleeping with other, had been cheating with other women as well. And you did co-sign that at one point. That was a thing as well. Like, you definitely co-signed that. So it's equal blame and fault on both parties. Let's keep it real. Both of y'all are at fault for the deterioration of the friendship. Like, y'all could have rebuilt after the whole. You know what? I guess I will give it to Mel. It was a misunderstanding. I don't know if that was a misunderstanding. I mean, because they literally called her bougie. But the thing is, she was able to move forward with Kimmy. She was able to move forward with Tisha, but at that point, it was friction there. Because again, I think that's the issue with both of these women. They can never really, truly, 100% own up to their faults. Tisha, a lot more than Mel. But Mel's, it's like they teeter-totter in owning up to things that happen in the friendship. So yeah, that's really what I feel. If you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else, and share this video. Until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and socially distance. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Also, subscribe to the Planner channel, and I'll see you guys later.